You get your body settled into the ground. Let some really good deep breaths flow, just to start tuning into how that breath feels. And in whatever way you imagine things in your mind's eye, think of what the spinal column might look like as the nerves from the brain are sending signals to the body, and the body's communicating back to the brain. So some people have a lot of anatomy knowledge. They know exactly what that looks like. So for those people, imagine what that little electrical current might look like. For those that don't know necessarily the anatomy quite so much, that's okay. Just imagine what it might be. There's a big chunk of spinal column that goes inside of the vertebrae, and then it starts to spread out like little kind of spaghetti noodles, little nerves hitting all over the body. Just imagine that electricity going all over the place all the time. Brain trying to communicate the body, body trying to communicate the brain, signals going back and forth, heart pumping, all sorts of good things happening, whether we think about it like speech and movement, or whether it just happens automatically like our heart and our lungs. Imagine all those communication signals happening. Imagine what would start to happen if our spine starts to shrink and compress. Imagine it kind of pushes on those little nerves, making it so it's like the highway has suddenly shrunk down to one lane and all the cars are trying to get through, and the communication gets much worse. Compare that to the spine getting taller, longer, the posture getting better. And imagine how the communication happens at that point. Tons of information passing along the nerves. So what we're going to be working on more than anything else today is things that help our spine out, helping us to not only strengthen all the muscles surrounding the spine so we can lift up more easily with better posture, but also allow ourselves to take good stretches for the spine. Sometimes it'll be forward stretches, or backward heart opener stretches, or side to side stretches. Imagine each time we take these movements, we're allowing space to start to happen in that spinal column so that there's much more decompression, there's much more space, much more length, communication happening more deeply. So with all this to kind of help get us kick-started today, let's begin. The knees will start to come into the chest. And just listen for how the spine feels as we rock around a little bit today. Sometimes it's a super tight day, so that's a good day to realize you don't have to go quite so hard. You can take more breaks. You can move more easily. Other days it's like, oh, okay, I'm in a good starting spot, so let's get our spine and our muscles stronger and supported. So the first thing we'll do here is allow the feet to drop. The feet are planted close to the hips. Hands are on the floor by the hips. And what we're going to do is a slow bridge pose up and down, rolling the spine so we can feel some of those muscles that are surrounding the spine. So start off really slow, tailbone tucks under your arm. Feel how that flattens the low back. The hips are pushed down, so now start to lift up the hips. Then feel yourself rising up through the low back. Continuing to roll up one vertebrae at a time, as high as you can possibly go. And there at the top, slowly roll back down. Exactly reverse. So move through the ribs, move through low back, hips, and then tailbone and back. Good. So let's take a few more like that, nice and slow. Feel the scoop. Usually the first one, we don't really feel the muscles. We're paying more attention to how the bumpy vertebrae feel. But after a good couple of rounds, you'll start to feel some of those muscles that are surrounding, things that help to control this, like the glutes, quads, back muscles, even the core. Going nice and slow like this. Let's try to go for 4 more. Rolling up. Slowly down. Take another deep. And we go for 2. And when we get to that last one, same thing, but really pay attention to all the muscles that are involved. Now that they've done the repetition multiple times, they're getting to that light fatigue stage. Really feel all those muscles. We're considering all this, even the glutes, part of our core. Good. So when you've got yourself back on the ground, take just a moment to bring bottoms of feet together, knees open out wide, like a cobbler's pose, essentially laying on our back. And feel how that does make the low back arch. That's great. That helps to accentuate that arch through that spot. When we're working on strength on our back, though, we do the exact opposite. So I'm doing this to help you feel the contrast between the arch of the low back and then the low back pushing into the ground in just a moment. So we'll be here just for a moment longer just because it feels so good. So let's add in a little shoulder stretch. Let the right arm cross over the body, hook it in, pull it nice and tight. Sometimes I'll even let the left ear go to left shoulder to accentuate the stretch even more. Good, start to open back out. Switch the shoulders, second side, getting tucked in. Inhale. And exhale, arms open back out. Help the knees to pick back up. So feet are planted close to glutes again for just a moment. That'll give us a good position so that we can tuck our thumbs right under the hips. So what that does is it helps us to be able to push the low back into the ground even more effectively because the hips are tilted a little bit. So feel the low back really pushing into the ground and see if you can keep that push into the ground as we start to lift one knee up and then the other. The knees are bent at a 90-degree angle. If it feels like the low back arched at all, readjust so you feel the low back very flat on the ground. As we do this next movement, you're only allowed to go so far as the low back is not lifted. So with the knees at this 90-degree angle, what we'll do is let the toes start to get closer to the ground. Knees are stay locked at that 90 degrees. Some of us might go maybe halfway there and then the low back starts to lift. Some might be going a little bit further, but at some point we'll all get to that spot where the low back, if we go any further, it would lift. So at that point, crunch the knees down. Okay. So start to synchronize this with your breath. Inhale is when we go lower. Exhale is when we crunch it in. You're doing good. Let's take another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Free up the hands for a moment. Take the hands to the knees. Do a couple of easy rocking motions. Giving the core just a minute for a break before we move right on to the next one. Good. So if that's feeling complete, take your knees back to the 90-degree angle. Open arms to left and right this time. With an inhale, knees tilt partway to one side. Exhale, it's not about momentum, it's about the exhale contracting the core muscles to bring it back. I'll tilt to the second side. So the exhale begin the return journey to the legs. So it's up to you how far to tilt. I usually don't go any further than halfway down because I don't want to make the low back do too much. This one's a really good one though, including some of the oblique muscles that we don't always include when we're working on core. So if you're doing okay, take 3 more to each. Two. And 1. Good. Hands back to the knees. Couple of these rocking. Okay, that feels good again. Legs up to sky. Hands can be whatever position is comfortable, by the hips, by the sides, whatever's working. What we're doing here, the toes start off pointed. As the right foot flexes, drop the right leg down to hover above the ground. Point the toes to bring it back up. Left foot flexes, lower down. Point the toes to come back up. Right foot flex, point. Left foot flex, and point. Just keep on going. Flex when you go down, point when you come up. Do another 5. 5. 4. 4. 3. 3. 2. 2. 1. And 1. Amazing efforts. Bend the knees. Hands are clasped around right knee. Slide the left leg nice and long to the ground. Pull this right knee in just a little bit deeper for a moment. Then what we're going to do is start allowing this knee to tilt about at a 45-degree angle to the left. So I'll have the left hand kind of help to weigh it down. At that 45-degree angle, we're getting into IT band stretch, or some people are tighter in the hips, so that's where they feel it. Just enjoy a couple of breaths right here. And then it's your choice. Either stay at this angle if this is getting your body just right, or continue to twist any amount over to the left. Really just listen with low back, so you're not twisting to any degree that's not feeling good with that low back. Only to the degree that feels nice. We'll start to release this right leg gradually out of it, bring it down, and then right leg drops to earth. Once we're there, left knee comes in, hug around it, pull it in the chest. Right hand takes over, so we can start tilting the knee to about the 45-degree angle to the right. That spot where the hip is just lifting off the ground, IT band is stretching more hip. This feels great. Stay if you want to continue to twist any amount. Listen to the low back. Okay, start to ease out of this one. Once you finish, plant the feet down, kind of close to the glutes again. From here, what we're doing is that bridge position. This time, arms are going to be doing kind of opposite of what the hips are doing. So as hips are down on the ground, arms stretch up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, the arms lift, the hips lift. Arms come all the way to hover above the ground. Hips are at their highest spot. Then reverse that, trying to get the spine to roll down as the arms return back up. Good. Inhale, come. Exhale, go. Inhale, return. Still try to get your spine to undulate, even though we're going faster. Doing good. We're taking 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good. Hips stay down. Hands clasp behind the back of the head. This helps to lift the head up without taking too much intensity into the neck. The neck is kind of the third arch of our spine. There's the low back arch, the ribcage arch, and then the neck arch. So from here, what we're going to do is little crunches. The head doesn't have to come all the way back down, though it can. Then we lift the head up. Lift as much of the back off the ground as you can, and then just release back down. So back up, back down, back up, back down. Here's 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Relax down. Hands are going to go palm face down under the glutes. So hips lift up, slide the hands underneath, and then we're going to take a fish pose so we get our first really good back bend of the day. So slide legs long. Do kind of like a crunch to get you propped up on elbows, and then walk your elbows closer. Heart lifts up, head rocks back. Sometimes kind of head barely grazes the ground, and you have to do that. It's mostly about how high you can get the heart. One more inhale. Exhale, safely bring the chin back up. Widen the elbows. Release down. Free out the hands. Let's take one more little bonus stretch before we start getting some seated knees. So this is the banana stretch. Our right ankle goes over left ankle. Legs scoot a little bit off to the left. Up above head, your right hand is grabbed. So left hand grabs right, and then scoot the shoulders a little bit off to the left. So you should be looking kind of like a banana off to this left side. Neither hip nor shoulder is lifting, it's just a good lateral move. So imagine kind of being able to visualize your spine. Imagine this length we're adding to it right now. One more inhale. Exhale, hands and ankles release. And second side will be left ankle over, legs scoot to the right. Up above head, grab left wrist, scoot it to the right. Banana shape to right. Nice bonus inhale. Exhale. Hands are welcome to release. Foot back on the middle of the mat. So we're going to try to do 5 roll-ups. So the arms start off pointing to the back wall. Take an inhale. Exhale, arms lift up, then shoulders lift up, and then try to roll up our spine. Start over the toes. Good. If you ever need to grab legs or use a little bit more momentum, that's fine, but try to go as slowly as you can, rolling all the way back down. Good. Let's try for 4 more. Inhale, prep. Feel the rise. Roll down. Here's 3. 2. Last one will stay up. This time, instead of stretching over toes, pause at the tall spine spot. Feel the back muscles trying to lift the posture up. If the knees need to be bent at all, that's fine. And 5 times here, bend through the back. Feel the core engage as you tilt halfway back. And then straighten right back up to the tall, tall, tall spine. 4. 3, 2, 1. Good. Sitting up nice and tall. Bend knees if needed. Shoulders. So we lift the arm straight up. Inhale. Exhale down. 4. 3. 2. Last one, stay up. Putting the spine to lift even taller. Huge inhale. Exhale. Just take that relaxation, that good stretch over the legs. I haven't done that much hamstrings up to this point, so we'll stay here just a little bit longer. Make sure those hamstrings Have plenty of time to try to wake up with us. Especially just feel that nice release as the low back, the whole spine gets this chance to just be in an easy curved shape. Rising up, the feet slide in, the hands plant behind us. Oftentimes we do this shape to work on the triceps, but today it's going to be all about the hips, lifting all the way up as high as they can and then dropping down as low as they can. So wrists are set up whatever direction is comfortable. And then hips try to lift up as flat and as high as they can and lower down. If you're doing okay with this, we'll try to go for another 9. And down. 8. The neck is up to you. 7. The chin could stay curled into the chest the whole time if that feels best for the neck. 6. Or you could rest your head on the little pull of your shoulders. Here's 5. And 4. 3. 2. Awesome work. 1. Before we go into clawless pose, let the wrists just have a little break. So roll them out or shake them out. Like, thank you, wrists. I appreciate it. And then when you're ready for cobbler, give the spine that chance to just relax again. The head weighs super heavy. I find that to be super useful to help those muscles in my low back especially get pulled into the front. Head is welcome to rock left and right if there's tight in there, no rush. Then when we roll back up, let's slide the feet to easy cross leg. We'll stretch through the neck for a moment. So let the right ear start to drop over right shoulder. If that's enough stretch, great. You have the option to float the left fingers off to the left. That feels nice. And head eases its way back up. Switch it out, left ear drops down, maybe right fingers float. Head comes back up. Purposely plant the left hand to the left, circle the right hand up and over, getting into those side ribs another time. And feel like there's length happening into the spine. Up. Switch it out. Good work. Rising up. Let's go with all those different directions of the spine. Let's go to a camel pose for just a moment, getting that back bend shape again. So toes tuck, if that's helpful for your camel. Hands are at the back side of the hips. Let's push forward. Yep, little padding is never bad. Good. So think of mostly it's not so much a compression of back, but it's like the lift to arch back. Hands can drop to heels if you like, or they can stay on the low back for the support. Wherever we're at, take 2 more breaths. Start to tuck your chin in. Work your hands toward the back. Let's take a nice little child pose. So that spine have length as it reaches forward. In fact, maybe even inch your fingers just a little further forward than they normally fall, just to kind of pull the spine a little longer forward. Lock the hands in for a moment. We're going to head to a couple of variations of dolphin pose next to help our spine build length up and some strength around it as well. So the first variation is fine if that's what you want to do all 3 times. The second and third time, I'll offer additional variations. You can choose them if you want to, or just go back to this one that we're going to do right here, right now. So dolphin pose, we drop down to elbows. I like to do a quick little hug to see if my fingers can wrap around the elbows. If so, that helps me know that my elbows are right under shoulders. So then release that little hug. One hand takes a fist, the other hand hugs around the fist. That's kind of just a straight, stable triangle shape that I like to set up in. So this first variation of dolphin pose is just straight holding dolphin pose. So all we do is tuck the toes, lift the hips kind of like a down dog, walk the toes in as much as you have that flexibility. So this first one, all you have to do is get up in the shape. The head is not touching ground. We're feeling those shoulders lift. Feel the spine try to straighten up as high as it can to sky. What you're doing is paying attention to your breath. So your breath is flowing. Listen to when the breath starts to get more like it's catching, like this is getting harder. Whenever you hit that point, some of us will be sooner, some of us later, just drop back down to child's pose. We'll take a little break for the second count. A couple more slow breaths. Okay, so we're gonna head to the second option. Again, you don't have to take it. You're welcome to just do what you just did. Lifting up as long as the breath is still steady, dropping the child eventually. Option 2, so every single time, same structure. Elbows are right under shoulders, hands wrap around. Second option would be this. I tuck the toes and lift the hips up, walk the feet in. This time, from this shape, right leg lifts up to sky, and drops down. Left leg lifts up to sky, drops down, and just keep on repeating same thing kind of until the breath is getting less steady. So maybe it's about 5 cycles each leg, maybe it's more, maybe it's less. Just listen to your breath. You're ready? Go right ahead. Get steadiness. Option 1 is perfect. Don't ever feel like you're forced to do something else. A couple more breaths. Just enjoy child pose. This is like good, strong stuff here. This is not easy. So you guys are doing awesome. Like, yes, I accomplished something. We'll know that by the end. Okay. So I'll kind of show you the third option while you're still taking a little break. Again, option 1, staying still is fine. Option 2, lifting, lowering is fine. Option 3 would be prep to get toward a forearm stand. So the prep is the same lift, but swinging it with more momentum, so the other foot also briefly lifts. That's the advanced one. Yep, that's the advanced. You don't have to take it. So option 1, 2, or 3, don't feel any pressure. Whatever you can do. And just do it until you feel like that same kind of sensation. I should rest, then just rest. Get back down to child. If you're doing the momentum, just make sure it's a soft landing on your toes. If it starts to get too hard, that's a sign you're not quite ready for it. You wouldn't want to like jam anybody's toes or anything. Yes, good work. This is so much, it's so powerful. So just burn some breaths, just take them. And let's walk the hands in so we're sitting more upright. Don't worry, we're taking a break still. So what we're gonna do from here, shift your hips to the left so your feet are tucked to the right. From that place, your right hand grabs your right ankle. Left hand tries to reach up and over. Again, don't think of it as just trying to like crunch your bones over and just lean. Think of it as trying to lift to lean over so you're creating space for your spine, your column, your back. Let your right ear purposely drop all the way down to the right shoulder. And this top hand is going to make a slow journey back down to cover, right above the ground. That will start to pull the left shoulder to a nice stretch. Right, so head slowly floats back up. Let's shift our hips to the other side, whatever way you choose to switch. Left hand grabs left ankle. Think of posture up before this right arm starts to lean over. Creating extra space for the spine. That left ear drops down purposely. And then the right hand starts to hover above the ground. That will pull right shoulder to the stretch. Good. Easy, float back up. Beautiful. If the head needs any movement, if the spine needs any movement, just take a couple of breaths to do maybe cat cow or anything else that brings some mobility back. Ready for down dog. Go ahead and tuck toes, lift hips up high. Think of the spine trying to stand straight. That means if you feel any rounding in your spine, bend the knees so the hips can go higher. I'll pull the spine up really tall. So from that shape, let's allow our right leg to float up to sky. Step right foot in between hands. Back heel is going to drop down. Let's float our way up to warrior one. Think of the torso trying to get picked up taller. At the same time, the legs are trying to sink down a little lower. Good. So from that height, drop your right hand down, rest it like an anchor on that back leg, and then continue to lean this left hand up to reach just a little bit over. Good. slowly ease back up. Both hands reach up. Clasp hands together, release pointer fingers up. Pull the ribs up, tall posture. Start to lean forward, shifting more and more weight of your body onto that front leg until you can float warrior 3. Inhale. Good. Exhale, drop the toes back down, release the hands, turn to the long edge of the mat. And this will kind of be one of the last little strengthening things. There's going to be one more coming up, but this is one of them, those last ones. With this one, I imagine this is the motion I would do if I could plant my hands down and slowly kind of roll my spine up into a handstand. This is like the initial prep where we're just getting the low back, the low abdominal area to try to lift off the ground. So hands are planting to the floor in front of us. What we do is we rock our shoulders a little bit forward past the fingertips, taking some of the weight off of our feet. Lift the heels up and then feel that low part of the abdomen try to curl in. Then go ahead and release back out. So heels down, weight back. Even point the elbows to the space in between your legs. Elbows trying to draw closer to the ground. Good. So let's repeat that 2 more times, trying to give it a good effort each time. So back up to flat hands, straight arms, shoulders rock past fingertips. Lift up the heels and curl that low abdominal in. And heels down, weight back, elbows bending, trying to drop closer to the ground. Good, so one more time. Hands flat, shoulders rock past fingertips. Heels lift, curl the core in. And release. Bend elbows, good. We're gonna walk our hands up to the top of the mat. So go ahead and switch one more time so you've got the right foot forward. And I'll just affect where we're going next, good. And what we're gonna do, this will be the last strengthening on this side, and then we'll do everything second side and we'll be done. So this right foot's gonna lift up to 3-legged dog. Shift to plank, take that right knee to nose. Lift right back up, 3-legged dog. So 2 more like that. Knee to nose. And lift. Knee to nose. And lift. Good. Send that leg under and through to pigeon pose. We've earned it. Back leg scoots back. Before we drop down, accentuate the back bend. So again, it's not about pushing both to try to lift up. It's about trying to lift and then continue to arch to create space through the spine. Good. So take a nice inhale. Exhale, slowly drop to hands, to elbows. Feel yourself release to that hip. I love this Yogilates class as we start to kind of recall all that we did. We're getting from the midsection where we just get to stretch a little bit. More breath, nice and deep, very slow. Head out, we're taking it to down dog. Feel free to add little leg movements and hip movements to help things feel a little bit better to be in motion again. And ultimately, the spine strength get up tall, so that might mean knees need to bend a little bit, so the spine can step even more straight. Essentially, left leg floats. Step it in between hands, that heel drops down. Good. Floating up, warrior 1. So the ribs lift as the legs try to lower. From that lift, left hand starts to work upside down, anchoring on the back leg. This right hand reaches up, lean over just a little bit. rise back up, hands clasped. Put your fingers release up, rib cage twist up. Start to lean forward. More and more weight comes onto the front leg. So we have a brief warrior 3. Next inhale. Exhale, land the toes, open the arms, turn toes to the long edge. 3 last cycles with that little handstand cut, trying to curl our body in. So hands plant, shoulders wrap past fingertips. Start to lift the heels up, curl the low abdominal, and release. Bend the elbows to sink a little closer to ground. Good. 2 more. Arms are prepped, shoulders forward. Lift the heels, try to curl the core in. And heels down, elbows bend, release. One last time. Hands prepped, shoulders forward, heels left, curl in. Good work. Release. Just let the spine be long. Gravity helping us out. Let's start to walk our hands up to top of mat. The left foot's going to end up with a 3-legged dog, reaching up. So from there, shift forward plank, nose, and back up. Repeating just 2 more. And up. 1. Up. Amazing. Step to pigeon. Back to side. Take a little bit of a back bend. Not only just a crunching, but legs to continue to arch. So let's ease our way back down. Enjoy some time with this. That's just slow. 1 last slow inhale. Exhale. Purposely drop the left hip down. Swing the legs open and then face front to wide figure V shape. So from here, if sitting up is a challenge, knees can either be bent or hands to stay behind us. If you can stay up nice and tall, fingers are welcome to go forward. And all we're going to do is just play with how far forward we can go without needing to bend through the spine. So this is more kind of just almost diagnostic, helps us know how that leg flexibility, hip flexibility is compared to the back. That way we can kind of tell if it's, the legs that are making it hard for us to have good posture. Just go forward however far it is to you to still have a straight spine. Some people is further, some people is less far. Just inching forward to that point where you don't really have to bend. At this spot, just take another 3 breaths. Ease our way back up. Pick up the knees. Just take kind of a curled in posture in front of you, hugging around the shins. Let your spine have an easy round back, head dropping down. and spine, lifting back up. Make sure there's enough room on the mat behind you. We're going to try to slowly work our way down. By this point in class, it's absolutely fine to use your thighs if you want. You don't have to, but just roll without. Use your way down. And then take the knees into the chest. We'll do a simple little twist to wrap us up. Only twist as far as that low back is happy. The knees are welcome to start gradually opening, twisting over to the left. Maybe the arms spread open left and right. Take the twist, knees over to the right. And the knees come back up. If there's any easy movements your spine wants you to do, like a happy baby or anything like that, feel free to take it. An option you might choose for your Shavasana today, since we did a lot with our back, is to plant the feet about as wide as that, knock the knees in to fall into one another. Just let that be your Shavasana. That's the easiest version we can take for our low back, because it doesn't have to have any arch from the leg straightening out. But that being said, if you want a different Shavasana, that's fine. Whenever you feel ready to settle into Shavasana, give your mind a couple of breaths to kind of imagine how the electricity, all those signals, how the communication is going through your nervous system. Imagine with that strength to help keep our posture lifted tall. Imagine the spine is decompressed. Able to communicate just a little bit better. Deep breaths. We'll enjoy this for a couple more minutes. So here we'll slowly start returning back. Just allow some good deep breaths to flow. Movements to return back to the body. Stretching out in a way that feels good. Nice fetal position off to one side. And doing a few bonus breaths here. So we're starting to get back to the body. This could be 3 or 4 good breaths. It could be a couple more. Doing this handful of breaths until you feel ready to rise sooner. So as we arise with this nice tall posture, feel how these muscles are more able to support your spine to keep it lifted. Feel how the breath is easily able to flow when we have that good posture. Imagine the nervous system, all those electric signals getting sent all over the place. Just imagine how they flow a little bit more easily when the spine is up. So with this help to our spine, and even kind of boosting our communication ability, communication physically, maybe at deeper levels also, with this little boost to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we got to share together. The sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.